Have you ever wondered why you keep ending up with the same type of person? Even though you promised yourself things would be different this time? Maybe you're always the one texting first, always wondering where you stand. Or maybe you're the one who pulls away the moment someone gets too close. If this sounds familiar, you're not alone. And no, you're not broken. There's actually a psychological reason behind it, and it all goes back to your childhood. In the next few minutes, we're going to uncover why you attract the wrong people, and more importantly, how to break the cycle. Stay with me, because what you're about to learn might just change the way you see your relationships forever. Before we dive deeper, if you've ever felt confused about your own patterns in love, go ahead and hit that like button right now. And don't forget to subscribe to Depth of Psyche, because we're here to help you understand the hidden forces shaping your life. Trust me, you'll want to stick around for what's coming. So let's talk about attachment theory. It's one of the most powerful psychological frameworks for understanding why we do what we do in relationships, and it all starts in childhood. When you were a baby, you were completely dependent on your caregivers. The way they responded to your needs, whether they were consistent, distant, or unpredictable, shaped the blueprint for how you approach relationships today. That blueprint is called your attachment style. And here's the thing. Most of us have no idea we're walking around with this invisible script, repeating the same patterns over and over again. There are three main attachment styles: secure, anxious, and avoidant. People with a secure attachment style? They're the lucky ones. They had caregivers who were emotionally available, responsive, and consistent. As adults, they trust others, communicate openly, and don't panic when things get tough. They're comfortable with intimacy and also comfortable being alone. Sounds nice, right? But if you're watching this video, chances are you're not secure. Or at least you're wondering why your relationships feel so hard. Let's start with the anxious attachment style. If you're anxiously attached, you probably grew up with a caregiver who was inconsistent. Sometimes they were loving and attentive. Other times they were distant or unavailable. You never knew what you were going to get, so you learned to be hypervigilant. You learned to watch for signs of rejection. You became really good at sensing when someone was pulling away, even if they weren't. As an adult, this shows up as neediness, constant reassurance seeking, and a deep fear of abandonment. You might text someone 10 times before they respond. You might overanalyze every word, every delay, every shift in tone. You might feel like you're too much, but you can't stop yourself from needing proof that they care. Here's the painful part. Anxiously attached people are often drawn to avoidant people. And avoidant people? They're the exact opposite. If you're avoidantly attached, you probably had a caregiver who was emotionally unavailable or dismissive. Maybe they were there physically, but not emotionally. Maybe they told you to stop crying, to toughen up, to handle things on your own. So you learned that relying on others is unsafe. You learned to shut down your emotions, to be self-sufficient, to keep people at arm's length. As an adult, you value independence above all else. You might say you want a relationship, but when someone gets too close, you feel suffocated. You pull away. You create distance. You might ghost, you might pick fights, or you might just go cold. And the closer someone tries to get, the faster you run. Now here's where it gets messy. Anxious and avoidant people are like magnets. They attract each other over and over again. Why? Because the anxious person's fear of abandonment triggers the avoidant person's need for space. And the avoidant person's distance triggers the anxious person's fear of rejection. It's a toxic dance. The anxious person chases, the avoidant person runs. The anxious person panics and chases harder. The avoidant person feels trapped and pulls away even more. It's exhausting, it's painful, and it feels impossible to escape. But here's what you need to understand. This isn't about good people and bad people. It's about wounded people repeating patterns they learned before they even had the words to describe them. Your attachment style isn't your fault, but it is your responsibility to heal it. So how do you break the cycle? First, you have to become aware of your patterns. And I mean really aware. Not just knowing you're anxious or avoidant, but understanding how it shows up in your daily life. Do you check your phone obsessively? Do you avoid difficult conversations? Do you lose yourself in relationships? Do you sabotage things when they start going well? Write it down. Track it. Notice it without judgment. Second, you have to do the inner work. And yes, I know that's the part everyone hates to hear. But the truth is, no one else can fix this for you. Therapy helps, journaling helps, reading about attachment theory helps, but the real work is learning to give yourself what you didn't get as a child. If you're anxious, you have to learn to self-soothe. You have to learn that your worth isn't determined by someone else's response time. You have to practice sitting with discomfort instead of chasing reassurance. If you're avoidant, you have to learn that vulnerability isn't weakness. You have to practice letting people in, even when it feels terrifying. You have to stop equating intimacy with loss of self. And here's the good news. Attachment styles aren't set in stone. You can become more secure. It's called earned security. And it happens when you consciously choose to show up differently. When you choose to communicate instead of shutting down. When you choose to trust instead of assuming the worst. When you choose to stay instead of running. It's hard. It's uncomfortable. But it's possible. Let me tell you something. If you've made it this far in the video, that tells me you're ready to change. So do me a favor. Drop a comment below and tell me which attachment style resonates with you most. Are you anxious, avoidant, or maybe a little bit of both? And if this video helped you see yourself more clearly, share it with someone who needs to hear this too. Because we all know someone's stuck in the same painful cycle. Now let's talk about what happens when you start to heal. When you move towards secure attachment, your entire relationship landscape changes. You stop attracting the same emotionally unavailable people. You stop tolerating breadcrumbs. You start recognizing red flags early instead of ignoring them. You start choosing people who are consistent, who communicate, who meet you halfway, and more importantly, you start showing up as a healthier partner yourself. You stop playing games. You stop testing people. You stop running or chasing. You just show up honestly and fully. But healing doesn't mean you'll never feel anxious or avoidant again. It means you'll catch yourself faster. You'll recognize the old patterns and choose a different response. You'll have the tools to regulate your emotions instead of letting them run the show. And you'll have the courage to ask for what you need instead of expecting people to read your mind. One more thing. If you're in a relationship right now and you're realizing that you and your partner have conflicting attachment styles, don't panic. Awareness is the first step. The next step is communication. Talk about it, not in the heat of an argument, but in a calm moment. Share what you've learned. Explain your triggers. Ask about theirs. Create a safe space where both of you can be honest about your fears and needs. Because here's the truth. Two people who are willing to do the work can absolutely create a secure relationship, even if neither of them started out secure. So here's my challenge to you. Over the next week, pay attention to your patterns. Notice when you feel anxious. Notice when you pull away. Notice what triggers you. And then ask yourself, is this reaction based on what's happening right now? Or is it based on something that happened years ago? That simple question can change everything. Because once you see the pattern, you can't unsee it. And once you can't unsee it, you can start to change it. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this video helpful, make sure you're subscribed to Depth of Psyche so you don't miss our next deep dive into the psychology of human behavior. And remember, understanding yourself is the first step to creating the life and the relationships you actually want. You've got this. I'll see you in the next one.